Life's going to happen to you when you have a dream. And don't take it personal. Don't ask, why did this have to happen to me? Why not you? Who would you suggest? And don't tell everybody. 80% don't care and 20% glad it's you. And move on. Get over it. Here's the other thing is you look at your goals and look at your dreams. When you're going through some stuff, when things go wrong, don't go with them. When things go wrong, don't go with them. When you're working on a business deal and the people that you thought would be there and support you, they don't come through, or someone turns against you, or you get ripped off. Happened to me. Someone stole all my products, my database, over 180,000 names and addresses. It's going to happen to everybody. It does. 8 out of 10 millionaires have been financially bankrupt. Walt Disney had 7. He filed bankruptcy 7 times. But I got a saying, when life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. You've got the power in you to do that. You've got something special. You've got comeback power.
I'm gifted at comedy, and I've been able to pursue it. So I wake up every day and for a living tell jokes. But you know, people, they look at that, but so you lose sight of the fact that I'm 54 though. I've been doing this 27 years in order to get to the point where I can wake up and tell jokes for a living. It's like Tim Gannon, who explained the fact that he wanted to play polo. He didn't buy a pony till he was 40. He saw the first match at 16. He didn't get that till he was 40. But so people look at him as the owner of the Outback Steakhouse and they go, wow, but they have no idea the journey and the stress.
You have to put on this approval. Talking about in your thoughts all through the day, God is pleased with me. He's at work in my life. I'm not perfect, but I'm forgiven. I have these weaknesses, but I'm on the potter's wheel. He's making me. He's molding me. I'm coming up higher. Thoughts will say, you can't feel good about yourself. You still struggle in that area. Just answer back, yes, that's true, but this approval is not based on how good I am. It's based on how good God is. He approved me before I showed up. He accepted me in spite of my shortcomings. So I'm going to start putting on this approval. Remember when Jesus was baptized in the Jordan River by John the Baptist, a voice boomed out of the heavens saying, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." What's interesting, up to that point, Jesus hadn't performed one miracle, hadn't opened any blind eyes, hadn't turned water into wine, hadn't raised Lazarus from the dead. Yet his Father said, I am well pleased with him. It's the same principle. God was pleased with him because of who he was and not because of anything he had done. We think, I can get rid of this bad habit. I can bite my tongue and not argue so much. I can be more disciplined in what I watch. Then God will be pleased with me. The fact is, God is well pleased with you right now. He may not be pleased with all your behavior, but He is pleased with you. He's already approved you. He's already called you a masterpiece. But if you listen to these condemning voices, you don't think you measure up, you'll never get it right, then you'll start living guilty, condemned, feeling wrong on the inside. Why don't you start putting on this approval, knowing that God is well pleased with you? A lot of people think just the opposite, that God is out to get them. He's waiting for you to make the next mistake so He can push you down even further. That's not how our God is. When you go through the day saying, Father, thank you that you are pleased with me. Thank you that you have approved me. Thank you that you've already accepted me. Thoughts will tell you, who do you think you are? Just answer back, a child of the Most High God. Redeemed, restored, accepted, and approved. Are you putting on your breastplate of approval? Or are you wearing rags of condemnation, unworthiness? Do you believe that God is well pleased with you? Or are you trying to gain His approval by performing perfectly? As a parent, our children make mistakes. They have weaknesses. But we know they're growing, they're learning, they're making progress. If you were to ask me if I was pleased with my children, first thing I would do is not make a list of all their mistakes. I wouldn't tell you everything they've done wrong the last 3 months. I wouldn't have to think twice. I would say, yes, I am very pleased. They're great children. I would make a list of everything I like about them. They're loving, kind, talented, fun, attractive. That's the way God thinks of you. He's not focusing on your faults, looking at everything that you've done wrong, making a list of your shortcomings. He's focusing on what you're doing right. He's looking at how you're growing, how you're making progress, how you're not where you used to be. But Joel, what about this weakness? I've had it for many years. You're not a surprise to God. He's not thinking, oh boy, they're wearing me out. I'm done with them. He's saying, that's my beloved son. That's my beloved daughter, in whom I am well pleased. Why don't you shake off the guilt? Why don't you quit feeling wrong on the inside? The right attitude is, I'm going to accept myself while God is in the process of changing me. I'm going to be happy with who I am, even though I still have some areas I need to improve in. The enemy does not want you to feel good about who you are. Nothing he would love any more than for you to go through life feeling wrong on the inside. Don't fall into that trap. Take off the rags of unworthiness and start putting on your breastplate of God's approval. The most important relationship you have is your relationship with yourself. If you don't get along with you, you won't be able to get along with anybody else. It will affect every relationship, including your relationship with God. You're living guilty, condemned, feeling unworthy. You won't go to God with boldness. You won't ask Him for your dreams. You won't ask Him for the supersized life that belongs to you. And this is the reason that many people can't get along. They don't like themselves. They're insecure, they're bitter, they're defensive. It spills over into every other relationship. Jesus said it this way, love your neighbor as you love yourself. You can't love your neighbor if you don't first love yourself. You can't give away something that you don't have. You don't have a healthy respect for yourself. If you're not putting on disapproval each day, knowing that you're a masterpiece, knowing that you're made in the image of God, then you'll start focusing on your faults, your shortcomings. You'll end up insecure, inferior. That will cause you to struggle in relationships. The scripture says our faith is made effective when we acknowledge everything good. If you're acknowledging everything you don't like about you, your flaws, your shortcomings, your failures, your faith is not going to be effective. That's going to cause you to get stuck. You have enough to overcome in life as it is. Don't go around against yourself. Quit taking inventory of everything you don't like. Sometimes we spend more time looking at what's wrong with us than we do what's right with us. It should be just the opposite. Start acknowledging the good. Let me help you. You came to church today. That was good. You turned on the program. That was good. You were patient in traffic last week. That was good. You were kind to that stranger. You overlooked an insult. That was good. There's a lot right about you. Even physically, we tend to focus on what we don't like. I'm so old. I'm so wrinkled. I wish I was taller. Where did my hair go? Listen, turn it around. Instead of being critical, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am one of a kind. I am a masterpiece. Something powerful happens when you say, I like who I am. Not perfect, have some shortcomings, but I'm growing, I'm changing, and God, since you approve me, I'm going to approve myself. When you do this, in the unseen realm, chains are broken. Chains of guilt, chains of low self-esteem, chains of inferiority. When you are for yourself, you are in agreement with God. And some people have never once said, I like myself. I like my gifts. I like my personality. I like my looks. I'm happy with who God made me to be. Well, Joel, I'm not going to say I like myself. That's weird. But if you don't like yourself in a healthy way, other people are not going to like you. You project what you believe on the inside. If you feel wrong about yourself, you project inferiority, unfriendliness, discontentment. I'm asking you to feel good about who you are. You may not be where you want to be, but you're on the way. God is changing you from glory to glory. Start enjoying the glory that you're in right now. You may have some weaknesses. We all do. Don't you dare go through life against yourself. God is saying today, you are my beloved son, my beloved daughter, in whom I am well pleased. Now do your part. Start putting on the breastplate of God's approval each morning. If you'll do this, I believe and declare every chain that's holding you back is being broken. God is going to keep making you and molding you. You're going to come up higher, overcome those obstacles, and become everything He's created you to be.
About 2 years ago, we were having a conversation, and he said, you teach the secret to life is peak state versus lousy state, or being energy rich versus energy poor. That a relationship, you can love somebody, but if the energy's low, it's not going to show up. The energy's high. Well, what if you swap those words and you swap peak state for beautiful state? I said, that works. You know, a high energy state is a beautiful state. Any state where your high energy would be like love or joy or gratitude or drive or courage or faith or, you know, playfulness or fun. Any of those things are beautiful states. So he goes, yeah, I agree. And I said, and then suffering states would be low energy states. So that would be frustration, sadness, anger, resentment, loneliness, boredom, whatever. He goes, yeah, that's exactly right. So I can swap those. He goes, if you swap them, there's something cool that you might see or do. I said, what's that, Christian? And he said, I've made a decision that I'm going to live my life where I'm going to live in a beautiful state every day, no matter what, even if it rains on my parade, even if people do things that are unjust. And he said, the reason is because in a beautiful state, just like you teach a peak state, everything flows. And I said, well, that's pretty much what I've been teaching. He goes, yes, but if you think of the lousy states as suffering states, he said, then you can end suffering just by ending the state. But I realized I didn't relate to suffering. Like if you had told me 2 years ago, Tony, do you suffer? Are you kidding me? I got the greatest life. I have the most incredible wife and 4 kids, and I got 31 companies, and I'm financially free, and I have a mission I love, and I'm in good health. And that would all be honest. I wouldn't have been dishonest about it. But what really helped me out of that conversation, I left there and I went, well, where do I suffer? And I realized frustration is suffering. I get frustrated. You know, I get concerned. I get pissed off. I get, worried sometimes. I get these feelings. And so what I decided to do was, just really create a 90-second rule for myself where I would end suffering as it arises. Because anybody tells you you're going to end suffering is full of crap. The reason is your brain is a 2 million-year-old brain. It's not designed to make you happy. It's designed to make you survive. But there's no saber-toothed tiger for you to react to anymore. So now we worry about what are people thinking of us? Do I have enough money? Over the last 2 years, what I've done is play this little 90-second rule. And if I feel tension in me, I go, okay, that's suffering. Where's it come from? What am I stressed about? What am I concerned about? And what I immediately do is I realize the stressful thoughts. Since I've seen Christian G, I kind of traded one thing. What I really do now is I dig in and I notice that the only time you have stress or suffer is when you believe a stressful thought. Because what are the chances of everybody doing exactly what you think they should do the right way every day? 0. What are the chances of people you love doing what you want them to do the way you want to do them every day? 0. What are the chances of you doing the right thing every day, even if you're talented and disciplined? 0. So your happiness will never last as long as it's got expectation behind it. What I did was I began to realize I made the decision, it's the most important decision I believe of your life, that I'm not going to suffer anymore. Life's too short to suffer, and I'm going to live in a beautiful state every day. And the way I do it is I catch myself when I start to get that sense of stress. I let it go, and I see the idea go by. So your thoughts about this person messing up your business or not following through. If I was in a room with 10,000 people, I guarantee you 60, 70% of the business owners have the same thoughts at times, right? I ask people all the time, tell me your most stressful thought. Oh, I'm worried about my children, this may happen. How many people have had that thought? Everybody. I might not make it financially well, but how many have had that? Everybody. My point is, it's not your thought. It's the mind, not your mind. When you think it's your mind, you identify with it, and you can't separate from yourself. But when you realize these thoughts have been around for millions of years, and I'm just thinking the same thought that so many people thought before. Like, how many people have ever thought, I'm going to kill this son of a bitch? Now, you didn't do it because you didn't believe you're really going to kill them. But you felt it. You said it. You were there, right? So we all have thoughts. It's only the stressful thoughts we believe that mess us up. So what I try to show people is, if you can start to realize these thoughts have been around for millions of years. If I told you 1,000,000 years, 1,000, 100 years ago that we're going to go to the moon and back, you called me a lunatic or crazy. If I said 100 years ago, you're going to have a little box like this, it'll fit in your pocket, and you can click on it and you can see what the weather is any place. You can click on it and see a live person on the other side of the earth and talk to them by looking in this box. And the way it works is invisible waves are traveling around the earth, and it pulls invisible waves in the box. You go like, read between the lines. There's no way, you dumb idiot. It's never going to happen. So what I want you to realize is thoughts are invisible waves. When you turn on TV, it takes invisible waves, and depending on the channel, you're going to see a love story or an adventure or a drama or a comedy or a horror. The way you use your body determines which of those thought waves come through you. One moment you're pissed off, the next moment somebody makes you laugh. You change your body, you change the channel, you change what comes through you. So what I've tried to do in this area, beautiful state, is simple. First, identify where you're suffering. What's your favorite flavor? Are you a worrier? Are you a pissed off person?
Stressed, angry.
What is it you do?
Yeah.
Second of all, decide you're going to kill that monster while it's little. You're not going to wait till it's Godzilla taking the city. You're going to break the pattern. You start to feel the stress. You see it as thoughts going by, and then you focus on something you appreciate, enjoy, or love. Appreciation, love, and joy destroy suffering. You can't be grateful and angry simultaneously. It's possible. You can't be worried and fearful and grateful simultaneously. So I tell people gratitude is one of the emotions to cultivate that'll destroy the suffering.
Chẳng được quên khi cơn mưa đêm lại về. Em đã quên lời thề và ta như đông chìm sâu. Không gần mới em anh nhận màu. Anh chỉ cần mơ đâu em bay. Chỉ còn là những cơn mưa vô giá. Cho bên mơ em không mơ anh. Anh một đêm mơ. Chỉ cần bên em không được cần nhớ. Và chỉ có em không còn nhớ. Và người ta bên nhau như ngã tớ. Muốn nhớ về say em chỉ có mấy em ở đây. Và anh như muốn chết đi nhưng không muốn em mãi mãi. Tình yêu làm cho ta đau đầu. Cùng em như nằm hâm mộ. Anh như đeo mong cầu. Và vui bên em ngủ sầu. Chào các bạn bye em mơ. Chỉ có bên em nhưng là khó mơ. Em mà đang dài. Em muốn bên ai. Anh không mong gì hơn. Chỉ mong em sẽ ở đây ôm anh thật gần. Anh chỉ mong đôi ta được có nhau. Mà đừng em đâu anh có em. Một đêm bên anh có em. Ta sẽ trao nhau môi hôn thật sâu. Ôm anh.
Bye.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks, I've had enough, I don't wanna feel the stuck under the rug, all my problems that I shove.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. It sucks when you finally feel like giving up. Oh God, no luck, everything feels like you're sticky stuck. I'm lost, handcuffed to the bed where I sleep, don't give a fuck. Can't stop, unplug, feeling over